What's up, Savages? In today's video, we are going to be covering the Envy team change. Sweet Gregor Mendel. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Gandhi's Thoughts, brought to you by My Nutrition. I am Gandhi, and my chair randomly lowers. I need a new one immediately. Anyways, moving forward. Today, I'm going to be talking about the Envy team change. Before I get into that, I just want to say in the description of this video, I am going to be putting a DDoS prevention link in there so you guys can just follow those steps and just try to not get DDoS anymore. The reason I did that because Call of Duty Champs has been announced, and it's predominantly online, which, I like squeeze my nose for some reason, right? It is what it is. At least there's still a tournament, but obviously everyone would rather have LAN qualifiers. Anyways, moving forward. So, Envy is a team who, for a while there, a lot of people were contemplating whether or not Rambo would continue to be on the team. Ever since Call of Duty Champs, where they took second, from that point on till now, they've really been floating around like the top 12, even with the addition of Karma on their team. And then to Gunjar on their team, they've still been top 12. Yes, they did see success at UMG Dallas, where they ended up finishing 5th. But when you look at it, you had 4 teams who were at MLG's Full Sail event, so something obviously was just simply not working. So what happened was they were able to replace Rambo with Scump. Now, before I get into Rambo, I just want to say one thing. He is not off the team. He is actually becoming the coach of Envy, which is really like my main talking point of the show, because it's a little bit odd to me, but I mean, it's awesome, but it really caught me off guard. But so, it is going to be Proofy, Gunjar, Merc, and Scump. So, Scump is going to be paired up yet again with both Proofy and Merc. Pretty exciting stuff here if you are an Envy fan. Scump was not happy with Optic. He did not like the team house. There was one player on the team who he really just wasn't able to get along with, and he felt like everything was becoming a competition. And when you're competing against your own teammates for a bunch of different things, you slowly begin to realize that the game is not fun. And really, I mean, when you look at it, like, you're playing video games professionally, everything should be fun. And once it stops becoming fun, that, my friends, is when you get the fuck out of Dodge. Anyway, so looking at this team, obviously Scumpy, an amazing player, one of the best in Call of Duty history, so it's going to bring a lot to this Envy team. And when you look at it, I mean, Envy was doing so well versus these top teams. I mean, they almost beat Complexity at Columbus. They almost beat TK at this previous event. And, you know, they fell a little bit short basically every time. And they did that with Rambo. Now, you replace Rambo with a player like Scump. Scump does not miss. And he's going to be dedicated. This team, I'm expecting to see the boys in blue actually return back to the top 2. If not, they may actually be able to dethrone Complexity eventually down the road. Now, obviously, you know, they have a lot of hurdles they have to overcome between now and COD Champs. They got to figure out how everything's working, who's running what. But the one thing that interests me about this team is when you look at it, they have really 3 ARs on their team. And the one thing that stops Complexity dead in their tracks, what we saw from Philly, is maps like Octane and Sovereign. If a team is able to run 2 ARs or 3 ARs, really, on being Octane domination, if you run 3 ARs versus them, they have a very hard time with that, and they end up having to adapt. And that, my friends, is something to take note of. So I'm really, really excited to see this Envy lineup. I think Proofy's happy, Merc is really happy, and Gun's in blue, so he really doesn't give a shit. He's just there for the followers and to wear the jersey, right, Gun? I'm just kidding with you, buddy. Anyways, so now the big part of this video that I want to touch on is Rambo became a coach. Now, normally when a player decides to retire to either become a coach or a commentator, you can start seeing those signs very early. You're like, oh, he's not dedicated. He doesn't want to put in the time. I don't know how. I don't think he has much longer until he's done. And everyone knows those players. It's happened so often throughout the past. But with Ray, I didn't see any of those signs. I don't know. For me, like, I would love to sit down with him, but for me, I didn't see Rambo being like, oh, I'm done playing, right? I never got that vibe. Like, to me, Rambo's always been super passionate. He's always been super competitive. So when I heard Rambo was coaching, it was, oh, Testicle Tuesday. Like, that really caught me off guard. But I am super pumped to see Rambo, who is not my brother or my cousin. I am not his father. I've had people tweet me asking me if I was Rambo's father. Right? Like, do I look that old? I'm like 24. He's a year older than me, and they're asking if I'm his father. Like, what the fuck is this world? Anyways. So Rambo becoming a coach is going to do two things. One, it's going to give Mr. X some competition, because Mr. X is one of the few coaches out there who does two very, very, very important things. The first thing he does is he watches other teams scrim, and he also takes down he keeps mental notes. He doesn't, I don't think he necessarily has a notebook. I don't think it's at that point yet. I mean, assuming it will be there, but at the time being, he takes mental notes of how all these teams play. Rambo's going to be doing that exact same thing, but for Envy, and that's going to give them one leg up. The next thing, which is the most important, is in mid-game, like mid-series, coaches like Rambo and Mr. X are going to be able to tell their team, hey guys, look, they're not running smokes, throw on your tack mask, they're running stuns, right? And that's going to just be like, oh, I don't even have to think anymore. This is alleviating a burden from me. I don't have to really use my deciphering skills. I don't have to be Sherlock Holmes in game. I have a coach telling me that. And I would like to see it get to the point where Rambo ends up actually being like, hey guys, let's go for a B push. Let's go for B. Let's go for a hard B or a hard A. Or guys, let's flip map. And when he starts calling those shots like that, then the players can all be unified. And then it takes away those, those random mid-game decisions where you're like, why the fuck did that guy go full flank when there was no reason for him to do that? It's going to alleviate that. So super excited to see how Ray actually transitions into being a coach. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, prepare for Call of Duty Champs. The everything has been announced. And tonight, TK is announcing who their fourth is. I swear to God, if it's not formal, I'm uppercutting everyone. Other than that, I love you, but I don't love you. Take it easy. Missed it.